Hey guys, it's Mike with another King Arthur Legends Rise video. Today we're going to explore where I'm at with my account. I kind of got called out a little bit and I do appreciate it. And I did a little homework and researched some other things that are going on with some of the other content creators and kind of get a feel for what I am falling down at. And ultimately it stems around a comment I got in the comment section from at the Mugamat or Mugamat, not entirely sure. I appreciate you calling me out. He just mentioned that he said for my level that I'm on, I just actually got to level 106, that I'm really not performing very well in the Hall of Conquerors, or I think he was mentioning the Forbidden Dungeon. He mentioned the Tower. So I'm assuming that was the Forbidden Dungeon. And I started thinking about it, and I was like, he's absolutely right. And so I was trying to figure out exactly what was going on. So I jumped on YouTube, and I found a couple content creators still poking at it, doing a great job out there. So I do want to give them a little bit of a shout out. Archangel Battles here has a lot of great content in here. He kind of deep dives in a lot of different things, and there's a lot of good nuggets of information going on. He has been posting a little more sporadically. In his last video, he's like, did I quit? And the answer, I think, is no. He's still playing the game, but it just seems like his uploads aren't quite as frequent just due to the lack of interest in the game, or the lack of growth in the game. I think it seems a little more likely, but there's a lot of good information in these older videos that if there's anything specific that you're looking at, could definitely dive through there. It's a great resource. The other one I stumbled upon, and I'm going to mess this up. I think it's What's Up. What's Up? I think it's a play on What's Up, I believe, but I don't know. But this is another content creator, does a great job, and this video specifically is the one that I found that really kind of got my eyes open a little bit. I haven't jumped into the Frost or the Thrym yet, but I do plan on doing that, because I think in this video here, King Arthur Legends Rise Blazing Gorgos Exposed. He goes through the stats, the team, and the order that you need to do their abilities to get to 100 hearts on Gorgos, Blazing Gorgos. So what I found out, and I'm just going to really highlight my Hild build, because I think that's where I'm falling down the most. But I don't want to steal his glory. He put a lot of energy and effort into this video, and it's definitely worth a watch. My guess is the Talos and the Thrym are just as good. I haven't got into them yet, but I plan to. But I'm going to talk about Hild specifically in this video. He goes through all 4 champions, so I definitely recommend when you get a chance, check that out. But in that video, he goes down and breaks down the actual stats you need from Hild, and his Hild is smacking for well over 1 million sometimes when she does her major ability. And when I went into the equipment and he pulls it all up, he's got 8,000, I think it's 8,300 attack on his Hild. He also has her effect resistance at 160%, using pierce and hit accuracy on the orb and the banner. And I think her speed was fairly comparable to where I am. Now, I went through and I built my Hild with all of the best gear I could, pulling gear off my Camelot Arthur, my Bedivere, everywhere I could find it, putting gear on my Hild. And I was able to get her in the 7,000s, and I was able to get her to 140% resistance. But what I found out was, to do that, I sacrificed a lot of defense and I sacrificed a lot of HP. And with my current build, I struggle to keep her alive for the entire 200 turns that I get. I was sitting there wondering, like, how is it possible that he has all these stats on his Hild? Like, I mean, it just seems like I don't even understand how they're all adding up. And what I've come to realize is I think there's a twofold in the lack of my account. The first thing is, you notice a lot of my gear is 6-star gear. I was fortunate enough to pick up some of those packs when they were available to get a lot of 6-star gear on the account. That being said, I did not spend a lot of time farming equipment or resources to forge 6-star gear, which is why I'm sitting on level 106 and my account is as lacking as it is. That, and the other thing was keepsakes. On the keepsake side of things, it took me a long time to really start farming keepsakes, and even the corrosion set that you get in here is going to be very beneficial. Your strife set for getting an extra hit in arena, it takes me out all the time. And then the shielding set for your healers does a great job. But one of the things I'm really lacking is this focus set. If you're an attack-based champion at the beginning of battle, every time a buff is put on you, critical strike up and critical strike damage up. So you're going to do more damage with this set. If you're a I lost it. Where'd it go? There it is. If you go into defense, you get metal armor, and every time a buff is put up, you get added defense, as well as damage taken decrease for the rest of the battle. And I keep doing that. I'm fighting myself. And then if you're a support, you get tranquility, which is effect resistance. So this could be a way to stack more resistance on your character if you're looking to do damage like Hild does from resistance. And then on the control, we've got 2 aim, where you get effect accuracy and hit accuracy every time a buff is put up. So that's actually a pretty solid set that you can use to get extra stats on different characters. The other one is the Unity set, and I scrolled through here. I don't have a single piece of Unity. But if we go over to the Forge and you jump into the equipment crafting and you go into keepsakes and you scroll all the way down, you got Unity down here. At the start of battle, it grants to all allies attack up and defense up by 10%. So that's going to be pretty helpful. Now, I don't know if this stacks or not, and that's only going to be granted to the hero of the same element. So if they're flame, frost, or storm, so utilizing, but a lot of these teams were using, you know, all frost characters or all storm characters because they're positive affinity. But this Unity set is going to be really strong as far as getting that extra defense specifically and keeping your folks alive, but also doing extra damage on the attack. That being said, if it stacks, that could be absolutely broken as far as getting that on all 4 of your champions. So that is a thought. On the ones that lay dots, I think Corrosion might still be the better bet. Although potentially not, because you're getting extra attack and defense. I mean, that could be pretty good. So that means that these guys here become super valuable. Now, for me personally, I haven't spent a lot of time trying to accumulate these, and then when you go and you forge these, you might get the wrong main stat that you're looking for, and there's a lot of crapshoot and a lot of RNG. But this is where my game is falling down immensely. And I'm going to be putting a lot more focus into this part of my game, getting these keepsakes done, as well as getting equipment crafted. Now, for a lot of the game and still to end game, this vigor set is what you're looking for. You can see here I actually started getting some of these on the account. They do stack up fairly quickly, but it does take quite a bit of stamina. But as you start to do these, you're going to want to utilize these to get 6-star gear as well as legendary 6-star gear. And then you're just hoping. These guys here you can change the stats on, so these ones are going to be always usable. But on these ones here, you're just hoping to get the roll into anything but flat stats. And then if you're building a specific champion, you might be looking for effect resistance or whatever it is that you're trying to get from each, or attack speed on each of the things. And so it's going to take a lot of resources to really build out the account. So what I'm changing focus on right now is anytime that I get a new character on the account, and I just blew up my entire gear set with one of my previous videos. I maxed out all my champions for each Hall of Conquerors, and then move the gear around. So I kind of feel like I got most of it back where it belongs, but I do feel to a certain extent I need to go through, rebuild my champions to the best I can, and every time I don't have a piece that I need, leave it blank. Go in and I forge it, and I farm what I need to get my characters built the way they're supposed to be built. So coming back to my Hild build, it was very lackluster. I mean, when I did move gear around and get her up to 7,300 with 140% of the effect resistance, she was smacking. I hit for over 1 million on one of her strong hits. The problem was she was dying around turn 100. Now, I was already at, I don't even know, 68 hearts by turn 100, so I was clipping along at a really good pace. But I couldn't keep her alive because her defensive stats were so low. She actually struggles to stay alive right now with defense and HP where it is right now. And her effect accuracy is abysmal, which is tough because you're trying to land those debuffs. Now, there are buffs that come in that give you effect accuracy up and stuff of that nature. So that will be helpful in keeping those debuffs or those dots landing for Hild. But seeing the discrepancy in where I was with stats compared to Walt's Up, yeah, it was kind of eye-opening. As I jump over into Forbidden Dungeon, I didn't even use my tickets. I was planning on actually trying to go a little deeper, so I might try to do that. I have pressed on in Forbidden Dungeon, got to stage 32. The specific struggle I was running into from stage 26 through 30 is the requirements to actually defeat it. You had to use 2 control heroes with Frost Relics. And until recently, I just got Lancelot with his Frost Relic. And so, and Vala was kind of a new person too. My Ceres hadn't really been built, so I was really using more, and Lot I haven't built either. So I guess I had some things on the account, but nothing that would help me because I didn't build them. But I was using Morgan and Anguish was just not enough. Like, he just would go in and die immediately, and then I'm sitting there trying to figure out how to beat it with 3 players. And you have to use a rare character, which when I have to use a rare character, usually what I do is I just sub in my, where's she at, Turin? Man, they put her way down here. I sub in my Turin as my healer because she can actually do some pretty strong heals and do the job of a Nika mostly. And so it's not a huge sacrifice to move from Nikra to Turin when I just need a healer on the team. So that's kind of my move there. But I was finally able to use Lancelot on the Frost Relic and get through some of these other stages and press on to deeper stages. So I'm at 32 now. I'm going to see if I can go a little further. But to be honest, in this game mode, it's kind of frustrating how RNG heavy it is. I'll line up my Frost Lancelot and my Frost Merlin and try to just freeze everybody, move through pretty quickly, and then just kind of slowly tickle them to death, keeping them from taking turns. But it's so RNG heavy on whether or not I lands Frost at the right or freeze at the right time to actually do the crowd control that I'm looking to do, which is kind of frustrating. There's obviously going to be better ways to get it done in theory crafting, different ways, but honestly, it's just one of those things I feel like is more of a time suck than that it is really fun for me. So unfortunately, it's been one of those areas I really haven't put a lot of energy into, but I am trying to press on a little further, seeing how I've been called out on not making it very deep into Forbidden Dungeon, which I appreciate. It's all in good fun, but it actually got my eyes open because I was like, yeah, as an in-game account, you got a lot of people here that are hitting 300 hearts. But as we look at the world leaderboard, we have quite a few folks in here that are knocking out 300 hearts in the Hall of Conquerors, and their levels are not significantly beyond where I'm at. I mean, you're only 3 levels up right here, and he's able to do it. So what I think it really comes down to is that gear, and then secondly, the other thing I almost forgot was chivalries. So going back to Hild, my Hild is on chivalry level 8, but as we move to chivalry level 9, you get another 10% defense. You also get another 25% resistance, which is going to add to her ability to smack. And then on this, she gets 10% HP plus element compatibility, which is going to make her smack 5% harder against off-element enemies. So that includes Blazing Gorgos. But this HP and this defense is what I'm missing. Like, I need these stats on my Hild to be able to build her with that focus and be able to stay alive. And the chivalry's getting these extra stats along the way. Like, I already have this with, I mean, that's a lot of extra attack power right here for Hild. On this one here, we got more attack power. This one, we got defense and HP. I actually did this one just specifically for Blazing Gorgos to try to keep her alive, thinking I was close. I upgraded this, and she still barely survives sometimes. So there's just so much work to be done in that space. But these extra 10% of HP and defense are going to make all the difference in me being able to pad my stats where I need to and not have to make sacrifices to keep her alive. So before I let you go, let's jump in the item bag, see what we can pull, if anything good. I could get a lot more of these if I didn't blow 2,000 crystals on the commander pass before it started. But you know, you live and learn, or you don't learn. I just live, apparently. I don't learn. But get these guys on the account. We did get a rare in there for Arthur's Frost. That's pretty good. We got a 10-pack here, and we'll make that a cheeky little 10-pack as well. All right, so we're 25 away from pity, so not guaranteed anything, but we can keep our fingers crossed and be hopeful that we get something. It has been, did I click the wrong thing? It has been, nope, it's glitching out. I was like, all right, I thought maybe I messed up. But it has been kind of frozen in this space a little bit. Hopefully on the next update they can get it resolved. But, you know, it just kind of builds a little extra tension, a little extra suspense. So, hey, we got lucky. It's worth the wait. Let's see who we get. We got, bam, 2 rares as well. So let's see if it's somebody new or somebody hey, that's Tristan. So that would probably be worth getting that extra damage. From my previous video, you do get the extra 2% damage on the negative affinity. So that's going to be a pretty big win for any damage dealer, so we can get that extra 2% on them. And then on the special summons, we just reset pity, but we're going to go ahead and do another. Maybe we get back to back. We had to use 150 crystals for that crystal consumption event. It's all good. Let's see if we can get lucky. We did not. Let's see if we can get more than 1 rare. We did. We got 2. We did twice as good. Let's see what we got on the rare front. We got a Sarah and a Kieran. So a little bit of something on the account there for the shard shop. Another spot you might be stacking up extra damage is actually with that element enhancement. I'm gonna get myself out of the way here, but like Hild's Frost Relic here, that's gonna get her an extra 2% damage on her Frost Relic when she's positive affinity over Blazing Gorgos. So that'd be another space. Then I didn't check on that video whether or not he highlights if his relic was enhanced or not, but that'd be another place where you might be getting a lot of extra stats. But I think he smacked for over 2 million on one of his hits. It was well over 1 million. I barely got over 1 million on mine. I was very excited about that. Speaking of Hild, I did go back in and re-gear these folks to get them going in the right order. Lancelot coming in, putting up his debuffs. Rosier, if she gets her Hook of Death, we get those extra debuffs, and then Hild can kill Gorgos in one shot. But if she doesn't get that Hook of Death, he does not die. So it doesn't happen every time, but when it does happen, it's pretty exciting. So my point there is my Hild is not trash. Like, I have a decent build on her, but clearly it's not as good as some of the other builds out there. And I think that's what that video really opened my eyes up. And I look forward to looking at that Thrym video as well as the Talos video to see how far I'm behind on those guys and see about what's going on. So that's about what I got for you guys today. I appreciate you hanging out with me. If you have a chance, go give a sub and a like to What's Up, as well as Archangel Battles over there, and just support their channels. There's content creators in the King Arthur universe. It's going to be helpful for advertising, growing the space, growing the game, keeping people in, and keeping that retention high. But also some great nuggets of information on those channels as well. So I'd encourage you to head over there and check them out when you have some free time. But I appreciate you hanging out with me all the way to the end, and I look forward to seeing you next time.